Hey guys, so here's part 2 of my top 25 list. Now, I want to state for one thing for the record. I'm thinking very closely that possibly around February, so when I get my next school grant money, I'm thinking about spending 40 of it on Sony Vegas video editing software. That way I can come up with some kind of intro, as well as just, I can piece these together, show pictures of the movie, each of them, just something, okay? I think it'd look nicer, a little more professional. So, just to let you know, it's coming. It's going to come eventually. I'll practice with it, see if I can get good with it, and then I'll start making more videos with it, okay? So, continuing my list, I now start with Clerks. This one I put both of them together, also. The first Clerks was groundbreaking, very well-written film, just a very smart but funny film, but kind of dry, also. It wasn't like hilarious, but it was good, funny. And I put Clerks 2 in there because Clerks 2 was just absolutely hilarious, so over the freaking top. It was just funny. A great filmmaker. I love Kevin Smith's work, which leads me to my next one, Dogma. Dogma, also one of his best works. So many great little ideas and points brought up as far as religion and everything else go. He brought it up, but he didn't say, here it is, this is my belief, I'm serious about it. He said, what if? Why can't we believe this? What if? Why can't we believe this? Without stepping on anyone and saying, look, this is how you have to freaking believe, and that's it. That's what religion does a lot of the time. It just points and says, you have to believe this. Kevin Smith says, hey, what about this? You didn't talk about this, what about this? And that's why I love that movie. Rocky is my next movie. Rocky, I will say Rocky, the first Rocky, possibly the second Rocky, or even the last Rocky, Rocky Balboa. But all of the films were fantastic films. Rocky is one of the best series out there, especially the first couple and the last one, because Sylvester Stallone helped write him, and because he is a good actor in that role. That role was made for him. He plays off of it so well. Anyway, just a great series. Next movie, Shaun of the Dead. I don't know if this made my horror movie list. I have to go back and watch the video again, but it is one of my favorite movies of all time. Sorry. It is one of my favorite films. It combines horror and comedy so vividly perfect. I love Edgar Wright's work. Hot Fuzz was fantastic as well. Really want to see Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. This is just a great comedy. Very fun. Very fun. Speaking of great comedies and great fantasy, The Princess Bride. Now, I know it's a little bit obscure when you're talking about these actions and dramas and stuff, but The Princess Bride is just so brilliantly written. Rob Reiner does a fantastic job with great performances in it. Inconceivable! I mean, it's just a fantastic film from start to finish. Great movie. Okay, then I go into my westerns here. I have Unforgiven, Clint Eastwood. In my opinion, Clint's best movie to date. I love all his films for the most part. He is a fantastic director. It is the epitome of what a western is in real life. That's what a western was. You don't have this, oh, I killed him and that's a good thing. It's that guilt. You realize you just killed a person. You took everything away from this person. And that is captured so beautifully in this film. That bad guys weren't necessarily the good guys. That we've made them heroes, and by making them almost more of a fantasy than it is reality of it. And number 2, as far as my next one for westerns, Tombstone. Fantastic film as well. Kurt Russell, Val Kilmer. Val Kilmer steals the movie as Doc Holliday. It's just a very well done film, considering the fact the film was almost doomed from the start, and the way it kept changing directors and this and that. I went through all this crap. If you want to look up the history of this film, it's lucky to have been made, let alone to be made this good. It's just a great film. Next movie, The Professional. Leon or The Professional, either way. Jean Reno is just fantastic in it. It's the first movie I fell in love with Natalie Portman before she became Princess Amidala. She's just a gorgeous girl. And then you've got just the fact that the guy who wrote and directed, now I'm blanking on his name, of course, I always remember his name, but he made The Fifth Element. He did the original Transporter. He helped produce the other Transporters and wrote them. He's just a fantastic. He wrote Taken. I mean, the guy knows how to do a great action movie. He knows how to do it smoothly, well written, everything. and he is one of my favorite filmmakers, just for that reason. He's a French director. I can't think of his name for the life of me right now. Bourne. The Bourne series. I'm dying for the next Bourne movie to come out. Matt Damon is fantastic in these films. I'm not a huge fan of Paul Greengrass. He does a good job, but he's kind of overuses the shaky cam just a tad too much, in my opinion. It is a fantastic series. If you haven't seen it, go back, watch 1, 2, 3, and watch them all. Each of them has one thing great, at least one great moment in each of them. It's some of the best fight choreography you'll ever see. Fight Club, okay? Fight Club is just what it is. It's Fight Club. It's one of those movies you see and you go, I was told, watch this movie, it'll change your perspective. And you watch it, and you're watching it, and you're like, it's alright, and you don't get half the jokes in it, because you're just kind of like, this is a weird movie. By the time the movie flips you on your end, and you're like, oh, then you go back and you watch it again, and you see all the subtle hints they gave you the entire movie. And then, on top of that, you start catching all the jokes and little things they threw in there, all the little parodies of what real life is going on around you. It is just one of the best films ever made. David Fincher, I love his work. Seven almost made my list. I think it was on my list of horror films. He does fantastic work. Everything he does is great, and everything he does isn't always the greatest film of all time, but none of his stuff is ever bad. So next movie on my list is The Godfather. The Godfather is a fantastic film. If you've not seen it, see the original one. Second one's good. Third one's not bad. It's just not as good. It's just a well-made movie, and it is like the true mobster epic. It's basically what those movies like the games like Mafia and other things are about. I mean, if without the mobs, a movie like The Godfather, The Sopranos, or anything of that nature probably wouldn't exist. Just a fantastic, fantastic film. Pulp Fiction. Pulp Fiction is Quentin Tarantino's greatest movie. I love his work. I think Kill Bill, I think Jackie Brown, I think Inglourious Basterds. Everything he's done has been brilliant. Grindhouse has been brilliant. But Pulp Fiction takes the top notch as far as I'm concerned. Christopher Walken's monologue is one of my favorite things of all time. There's dialogue in that movie I could recite word for word, but we won't go into it because you have to bleep half of it. Anyway, so that brings me to number 25 on my list, the last movie on my list. And it came to my attention that I had barely put any animated films on this list. So, of course, what comes to my mind is, in my opinion, the greatest Pixar animated film of all time. No, it's not Toy Story. No, it's not Finding Nemo. No, it's not Cars. And no, it's not The Incredibles. As much as I love all those films, well, minus Cars. Cars was okay, but I didn't care for it that much. As much as I love all those films, for me, it all comes down to Ben Burtt's sound editing and the fantastic pantomiming of a little robot called WALL-E. WALL-E is superb filmmaking. It blew my mind the first time I saw it. I honestly, I'll tell you right now, I cried when WALL-E thought Eve was gone, and then when Eve thought WALL-E was gone, and the whole audience is worried, is WALL-E gone? Oh, it ate me up. And then when he came back, that film worked for me emotionally more than any of the other Pixar films. I could go Ratatouille. I love that film. It's one of my favorites also. But I think this is Pixar's best work. I've seen Up. I love Up because I'm a dog person. Doug the dog is one of my favorite characters of all time. But WALL-E it works on so many levels. And in my opinion, it is just the top-notch work of Pixar. So, anyway, guys, that completes my 25 list. I hope I haven't gone too long and too far. I hope you enjoyed, and until next time, guys, the reviews will continue to come. Keep watching.